IELTS exam, TEF Canada. You see those exams, very simple to pass and very simple to fail. Do they really fail in IELTS? No, you can get a low band score, but you know the main aim is achieve the highest band score. For me that wrote IELTS up to like 4 times, it doesn't mean that I was not like getting band 7, which is the low band score that is required from IRCC, but I was targeting to have the highest band because of my age as well as the scores I was seeing in the pool. The scores were very, very competitive, so I needed to have a very high band score, and I also needed to write the TEF Canada. So guys, so many people have been coming to my DM and leaving YouTube comments as to the materials and resources they can use to study for IELTS, and some asked the center that I used, like a physical center that I used to study for my IELTS or a physical center for my TEF Canada. So take this video as a tip, because I'm going to tell you guys the resources I used as well as those simple or tiny mistakes that you might be neglecting and you feel that those things might not make you to fail, to get a low score in your IELTS. So I'm going to give you some tips as well as the resources that I used for my IELTS to finally max out, and also the resources I used to study TEF Canada to finally get a band score that I needed after 2 attempts. Like the second attempt helped me to get the band score that I needed to increase my comprehensive ranking score. So guys, watch to the end of this video if you are among the people that wants to write their IELTS or write their TEF Canada. So first, I'm going to dive into IELTS, the resources I used for my exam. Now, there are so many IELTS videos on YouTube. In fact, I watched so many IELTS that I kind of got confused as to which one is correct and which one is wrong, because so many videos out there, sometimes they teach different things and you don't get to know which you would like pick to really study for your IELTS. I've been using lots of videos, and that was what I've been using to write the IELTS first attempt, second attempt, and third attempt. And I was kind of getting same band 7, band 8. That was like practically what I was getting. Then the writing was always stopped at 6.5. I was like, what is happening with my writing? Sometimes I will get listening band 8 and reading band 7.5, then speaking band 7. Then when it comes to writing, it's always 6.5. So I had to make more research. Honestly, the first person that really helped me to understand the writing aspect was IELTS Liz. So she has a website as well as YouTube channel as well. So I practically married her website. She was the first person that like broke down the different IELTS categories, which is the listening, the writing, the reading, as well as the speaking. When you go to her website, she break down what you need to do, the minor mistake that you might be making, especially when it comes to listening and writing. The minor mistake you might be making that might make one to reduce that score you are getting. Okay, I really use that IELTS list. Like, she's very, very good. It's, in fact, personally, I understood it perfectly well. Then while I was using Liz, I also came across Chris. That's IELTS Advantage. He's another person that's really helped me in terms of my reading as well as writing. There are different categories of writing that advantage, disadvantage, in my opinion, and all that. There are different ways you need to put in your writing, not like you scatter the whole idea everywhere, and you need to, there is a way you need to like do your introduction, like a paraphrase from the question that you're being asked. So if you use this IELTS list as well as IELTS Advantage, which is Chris, they are very self-explanatory. I did not bother to use any physical class. I saw some physical classes, but I just felt that everything is already online, so I did not use any physical classes at all. Then to increase my vocabulary, especially for the writing aspect, I use E2 language. So you know that vocabulary is another thing that they use to assess your band score. So that like after you finish writing, you need to go back to increase like some of the words and increase their vocabulary. That one also earn you a score when you use like a very unique vocabulary and not just like the basic vocabulary that everyone knows. So to increase my vocabulary, I have to use E2 language. Okay, those were the 3 basic people that I use to study for my IELTS. And guys, when it comes to listening, I didn't really have much problem with it because of the IELTS list that I used. Now, during my exam, I had to use capital letters all through. Like if you've done IELTS before, as you're listening, there are spaces you need to be filling. So I didn't bother to use small letters. Why? Because I needed them to see my handwriting, like let it be able. However, I was not missing upper letter and lower letter, like capital letters and small letters. I didn't miss it. So I decided to use capital letters all through. Another tip I have to give to you guys is listen to the plural word of something. If the word they are pronouncing is in their plural form, like addition of S, please write it. If you don't write that S, that can make you to fail. And that is why it's recommended that before you go into that exam hall, use your headphone. Like before you book an exam or prior to your exam, always use your headphone to listen, because you listen like you are already in the exam hall, so that you'll be familiar with when they use plural words. You know, sometimes these white people, they can speak so quickly and you might not know when they are using the plural word or when they are using just the singular form of the word. But if you keep on listening to what they are saying, like different exam questions on YouTube, when you keep on studying them, you will get familiar to when they are using the plural word or a singular form. Because if you use a singular form of a word instead of the plural, like not adding S, that can make you fail that particular answer. That is another tip, guys. So always like do the listening. Then for the reading, I will say go and master the art of scanning, skimming, like you skim before you read properly. Because reading aspect, if you don't master the art of scanning and skimming, you might not have the time to answer the entire question, especially the last comprehension passage that is very lengthy. So that one, you will need to practice very well for you to know how to answer the reading aspect. Like I said earlier, IELTS list really helped me. Just marry that woman's website as well as her YouTube channel. It really, she really broke it down like she's teaching a child. She broke it down. That was what really helped me, how to answer the reading question, how to answer the listening, as well as the writing. Speaking, she also has loads of topics, like past topics in her website. So with that, you can record yourself and speak into your camera. You record yourself talk. You don't need to use filler words like all those filler words that helps like You understand, guys? Don't use filler words. Those ones help to reduce your score. And when you're doing your speaking, just be confident. Just be natural. You don't need to like start speaking funny. They are not really interested about your like the way you talk. They are more like interested about the confidence in you, the way you are expressing yourself, the way you're demonstrating, just like that. And minimize the use of filler words. That's for the speaking. Then let's move over to the TEF Canada. Now for TEF Canada, the first app that I started using was Duolingo. In fact, even before I started taking the learning of French seriously, I was just using Duolingo to just like practice, and it really helped a lot. Duolingo app is an app that is very, very okay when it comes to you learning elementary, as in the basic aspect of the French. Then after I used it for a long time, for a while. I was just like answering the question there. Then I went to YouTube again, and I learned how to learn say ABCD in French, how they pronounce it. It's just like you learning English. The first step you need to take is to learn how to write, like read ABCD, like pronounce it, so that you'll be able to pronounce words in English exactly the way it is with French. There are ways you pronounce the ABCD in French, so that when you see a word starting with A, you know that you're going to pronounce it like that. When you see a word starting with B, like B, just like that. So you learn that their ABCD first before you go into learning new words. Then while I was learning, I saw so many YouTube people too. You don't like, in this time of an age, you don't need to like look for any physical classes, okay? But I'll tell you guys when you will need someone, so that the person, you and the person can interact one-on-one. So after listening to different YouTube people, the person that I really used was Alexa. Okay, I'll put the name on the screen. What I did, her YouTube channel is like very, very, the subscriber is much, and she has made lots of videos already when it comes to French. So what I did, I had to scroll down like the initial stage when she started her YouTube. That's one, those videos from her first videos that she uploaded really helped, because that was where she broke down the different aspects, like the earth, the other sounds regarding French. She really broke it down like she was teaching elementary. So guys, marry Alexa. She's someone that I actually used to learn French. While I was learning French in her YouTube channel, I was also using Duolingo, and then I was listening to podcasts in French. Then sometimes when I'm less busy, I'll just put my earpiece. It's good to use earpiece or your headphone so that you can hear the pronunciation very well. I listen to conversation in French. I might just be lying down. I'll just put my headphone or my earpiece in my ear. I'll just be listening to conversation. So that will help me to know how they pronounce, and if I'm able to know what they are talking about. That really helped. Then prior to my exam, that was when I had to hire a private tutor. You know, Nigeria, we are not French speakers. So I have to hire a private tutor so that I'll be able to interact with that person one-on-one, especially because of the speaking aspects. Because when you're writing the TEF Canada exam, the speaking aspect requires you to interact with the examiner, just like the one in IELTS, okay? Then another thing that helped me, when you book for the TEF Canada exam, they will give you resources. That's during my time. I don't know if they do that again. Someone can just put that in the comment section if they do that or not. It's called Prep My Future. If you've not enrolled, you're going to pay. If you want to use that Prep My Future, you pay some amount of money for you to be able to use that Prep My Future. So after I booked for the exam, they send me the resources. There is a code that they will send to help you access those resources to help you prepare for the exam. So that was the last resources that I used to prepare for the TEF Canada, to know how the exam looks like. Okay, then you can also make a research on YouTube, past, but it's not really much. When you make research on YouTube, past TEF Canada questions and answer, it's not really much when compared to IELTS, and it might not really be the same thing. So the only thing that can help you to prepare is that Prep My Future, which they will open freely to you if you've enrolled for the exam. So guys, the same thing, TEF Canada is computer based, like the reading, the listening, and the writing as well, comprehension, is also computer based. It's just the speaking that you have to sit with the examiner, like just the way you speak for the way you sit for IELTS, opposite each other, and they will give you a paper. You have to see what is in that paper and start talking. Okay, so that's basically it. Do I have any other points on this TEF Canada? What I will only recommend you guys to do is that you need to like not be in a hurry to book for the exam, especially now that I heard it's expensive. I heard TEF Canada or TCF Canada is now very expensive, as high as 700,000 naira. I was like, what? When I wrote that exam, my first attempt was 160 something thousand. My second attempt, I know it increased to about roughly 190 something thousand, and that was the last attempt. So when someone told me that the TEF Canada is now 700,000, I was like, geez. So guys, it's not something that you need to hurry to book. You need to be sure. You need to leave A1, A2, B1, and possibly B2 before you take that exam. Okay, you need to really master the French before you book for that exam. You don't need to book for the exam when you know that you've not like passed A2 or B1 level, or you are not even approaching B2, because you need like band. Canada website says band 5 or band 7 or so for second language, but then the higher you score, the higher it will give you more points. Okay, when you score higher in your French and you also score the maximum points for your IELTS, it will boost you to 500. For you to understand what I'm saying, just go to comprehensive ranking score 2 to try to compute your score. You'll be able to understand that having that band 5 might not really give you much points compared to when you have overall band 7. So don't be in a hurry. Study fast, but don't be in a hurry to book. That's lots of money to book for that TEF Canada. So guys, those are the tips. I hope I mention everything that I know. I think that's all. If I have any other tip, I'll just put it in the comment section so that you guys will understand how you can go about your IELTS exam as well as your TEF Canada. So guys, if this tip was helpful, give the video a thumbs up, and please do not forget to subscribe. Thanks to everyone that has subscribed. See you in my next video.